Good evening. It is Saturday, January the 4th, 2025. You are listening to another episode of Wes and Shelley Share. And in this episode, we're going to recap some highlights from 2025. Not 2025. We haven't lived 2025 yet. Highlights from 2024. And then we'll have halftime. And then we're going to do continue the highlights, but focus on Thanksgiving and Christmas because there were really some wonderful times that we had together, and then maybe share a few goals that we have for the year. Shelley, do you want to paint the scene visually for everyone?
I guess today has been a lazy day. We're sitting on the sun porch, only I don't know, what time is it? 7 p.m., so it's dark. We have our candles and our Christmas tree. I did take all the ornaments off the Christmas tree. But yesterday we took Wes's dad to the airport. We no longer have house guests. So I'm in the process of taking the Christmas decorations down. And so anyway, we've just been in a really reflective mood. Wes made fried chicken tonight. It's the first time he's ever made fried chicken. It was really good. And I think we're just processing a wonderful 3 weeks with family and guests, and then just processing our year. It's what you do in January. So you want to get us started off? What was one of your highlights of 2024?
I was trying to think about what happened in the spring. It seems like it's been a long time ago. Remembering the summer a little bit better than last spring. Definitely have enjoyed teaching. Last spring, I loved actually getting to collaborate with Travis. Travis White is a teacher at our school, and he came last year. In fact, I got to be on his interview meal. It's absolutely lovely. When I came and interviewed for my position in middle school ideas, which is our reconstituted computer science department, innovation, design, entrepreneurship, analytics, and sustainability, we had a lovely dinner at Southern Pecan. And Southern Pecan has really become a family tradition. When Rachel came back from
Yes.
RMA,
Great
yeah, when
Southern.
guests come, it's near South Park, which is where our Apple store and Cheesecake Factory and Hoboken area of uptown Charlotte. But we had brunch there with Dad the first Sunday when he and Rachel came for Christmas, but we had some good meals there. And so anyway, when Travis interviewed, I actually requested if I could be on his interview because I got taken out to eat, and that was part of the interview process. But I just loved collaborating with him. That is absolutely a highlight of the year for me. It is such a big deal to have a colleague who's a friend who you really enjoy working with. And he and I were both teaching sections of our sixth grade engineering class last spring. And it was just really wonderful. One of the ways he influenced me was really by helping me figure out ways that we could collect data in each of the engineering design projects that we did. And what do we call it? It was a efficiency calculation that we did. So whether it was the egg drop, which was one of the last projects we did, even with the cantilever spans project, which is using half-inch washers and paint sticks and seeing how far out you can basically make a cantilever. Anyway, it was fun and it was lovely. And I had enjoyed my first year here collaborating with Todd Johnson, who is our makerspace teacher, and he does now all high school classes and does our CAD and architectural engineering classes. But it's just really energizing to collaborate with a colleague. So I am very thankful for my friendship and professional relationship with Travis, and also for the fact that we've been able to work for him. He has a business called Pave Bakery. And so we have each, Shelley and I, work Front Porch Sundays up. It's not South Park. What's that area called where Front Porch Sunday is? It's like what's the place that Sarah loves to eat? That's the Singapore
Fockers.
Hawkers. Yeah. Anyway, I don't remember what that area is called, but anyway, Shelley's worked that. I've worked the Waxhaw Market, which is just south of us. And anyway, that's a great highlight and also something to be thankful for. How about you? What's one of your highlights from 2024?
One of my major highlights from 2024 is getting to go to Kennedy Space Center and do the space conference. It was, I think, almost like a dream come true. Anytime that I get to hang out with a group of people that love space and geek out about space as much as I do. We got to hear from and meet the first teacher It was the backup to Krista McCullough. So Krista McCullough was actually the first teacher in space, even though that didn't last very long. But truly, this astronaut was the first educator teacher in space. She trained with Krista McCullough as her backup, and Krista McAuliffe. Oh my goodness, I hate it. Does it irritate you sometimes when your husband corrects you all the time? Irritates me. Anyway, so that was a highlight for me. And on that trip, we got to see our first rocket launch from our hotel. He's doing it again. It was a Falcon 9. You can talk when it's your turn. This is my turn. Falcon 9 rockets. We didn't get to see the big boosters as they came down, but it was a really important launch. It was one of the weather systems one of the new satellites for the weather systems that went up. Do you happen to remember the name of that? Do you want to chime in here?
Actually, we missed that. That was the Falcon Heavy that was the GO satellite.
Yes, the GO satellite. Anyway,
we got to see another one that was amazing. It was amazing.
On that trip, the highlight of the conference was getting to go into the Vehicle Assembly Center, because it's someplace you don't normally get to see, because almost always something is happening. But because there had just been a rocket launch, it was empty. And so we got to go in and actually go into that. It's now you can't get into it because Artemis is stacking there. And so Artemis 2 mission, and they're busy stacking that rocket right now. So it was really amazing that we got to go into the actual building. And so that was a huge highlight for me. Gave me a lot of ideas. I wish that we would be able to go to a conference. We had really wanted to go to the SEAT conference again, but it's just not going to work out this year. But Dad and I are continuing to really, and me especially, to enjoy teaching space and whenever we can, and working on some camps for this summer for the month of June and July that we're really excited about. And so 2024 was a great space year for me, and I'm looking forward to doing more in 2025.
So I really love seeing how alive Shelley becomes when she is involved with space education. One of the things we've just decided to do, we'll talk more about our goals, but we're gonna commit to do a course that is, 4 months or something, with our friend Mark Wagner. In fact, Mark was there at the space conference. He was there at SEEK. We're gonna have to attend SEEK, which is the Space Exploration Educators Conference, virtually this year. I didn't get approved for school support for that this year, but that's okay. We can still virtually go, and it's the empty nest. This whole podcast, part of this is the empty nest, right? So we probably should talk a little bit about that. It is challenging for sure in different ways. And I think that the life transitions are hard, and it varies by person. When you change what you do, and you change where you live, and you change your friends in terms of the ones you're physically around, you change your church, you change your whole social network. This is massive. And I love the way in which I see Shelley just absolutely be centered and come alive when she is teaching space, when she is energizing students with passion for STEM, for coding, for learning about space. I'm going to be writing a proposal, and I don't think it'll happen next year, but there's a possibility it could, as a high school course, and really use the podcast Moonrise. We introduced that to my dad, and we need to remind him about it, because the Washington Post podcast Moonrise is absolutely incredible, and Rachel loves it, and I should just listen to the whole thing again. And I think I could use it as an organizing media artifact for an entire high school course that would be about space history and space exploration. But the way in which, I guess, Shelley just finds her center when she is learning about space. She loves science fiction. She's been rereading some Andy Weir, but she discovered a new author, which is called The Lady Astronaut. She's actually an author from Raleigh, North Carolina, and she's been reading some of her work. But I love how energized and full of, I don't even know the right words to say it, but it's basically She, yeah, fire. There you go. She's going to sing. Like when she's in her groove, like she's doing her thing. And I think that that's so important. Shelly, teaching your Lego class has been a highlight for you this year, hasn't it?
Yes. So anytime I get to do space education, and I'll try to sneak it in wherever I can, which we just finished at school, I did help write the space unit. So for 5th grade, and we had a really great time teaching that. That was the second time that we've taught that, and that was fantastic. But I also did an extended day class, which is an after school program, and did space and Legos for 1st and 2nd graders. And that was a huge hit. And I really enjoyed that. Oh, yeah. I think space is sprinkled in, I think. And kids are fascinated by space, but a lot of kids don't know what's currently going on in space. And they don't know about the Artemis missions. They don't know about the newest rovers in space. They don't know about the new satellite systems. Things are happening unless you're really interested in that and seeking out that information. I don't think it's a part of our day-to-day lives. So anyway, I really enjoyed teaching just space concepts, big picture things with the kids, and then having that to talk about. So I really enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun. I wore my spacesuit on Thursday afternoons and my jumpsuit. It's my spacesuit. Yeah, it's my space flight suit. Anyway, and then also another highlight for me is volunteering to help with Science Olympiad. So Science Olympiad, especially in the lower school, is a big deal, and they've been doing it for years. And anyway, so I am volunteering for that on Tuesdays, and then we'll go to that competition, which we need to make sure is on the calendar because I'll definitely be going to that. But the project that I'm working on with the students work the problem. I'm just there as support. But it's a rocket parachute launcher. So they do a rocket launch, and then they launch a parachute. And then it's timed on how long the parachute stays aloft. So that's an awesome project, and I've never done anything like that. It's been a long time since I've done a rocket project. And then this summer, I guess we'll talk about that later, but I'm looking forward to some other space-related activities for this summer. Yeah, those are the things that I have really enjoyed this school year.
It was definitely a highlight this summer to be with Rachel. I love the season of our adult children. Rachel turned 21 in September, actually Parents' Weekend. I regret that we didn't go out on Thursday to be able to get involved in all the activities Friday, and we are resolved to do that next year. We did it her freshman year, but that was a highlight. It was great to be out there. But to be able to be with her, she had the Air Force Academy has 3 summer periods, and so she had first period off. And of course, we had no idea that the campsite where we camped near Montreat, North Carolina, would be completely devastated at the end of September by Hurricane Helene. We'll talk about highlights after halftime of Christmas, which involved going to Asheville and being at Biltmore and stuff and being around some of the devastation. But anyway, it was just lovely. We camped right beside the river. Of course, I was aware of flash flood dangers, and that is always a danger when you're in the mountains, especially when you're by a river. We had a bear come to our camp. Oh my gosh. We were camped literally right by the river. There was a little, I don't know, was there a platform there that we camped? I think there was. We put our tent on a platform. Yeah. And I love to cook. I love cooking. In fact, I made a cookbook over Christmas. You can go to books.westfryer.com and you can click right now still and get the free PDF. I think I'll hopefully get the Amazon version on. But that was one of my Christmas presents for the family, for the kids, and for a few other folks. And you can order one if you want one, if I don't send you one. But anyway, I've always loved camping. Shelly and I love camping. That is something that we started with in the beginning. That was one of the things that attracted me to this amazingly good-looking woman, was the fact that she enjoyed camping. She rolls her eyes when I say things like that. But seriously, she had grown up camping with her dad. She had gone backpacking with a group that was it Sunlight Basin? What was that called? Sunlight Christian Camp, something like that. Anyway, she had some camping experience, some backpacking experience, and that was one of the first things that we did. We went camping together, and the summer after we met, we went to Jackson. But it was great. It was really great, and I think Sarah's phone calls have been a huge part of your life this last year. I think you really look forward to that. I love being able to talk to Alexander, being able to talk to Grace. This was the year anniversary of Grace and Alex's wedding, married in September of 2023. And so we'll talk a little bit more about Thanksgiving, but it's hard to be separated away.
Alexander, get more recipes.
Oh yeah, sharing food, and in fact, I'm just gonna send Grace a text tonight and say, "Hey, cook fried chicken for the first time." So anyway, that was definitely a highlight from the summer, and then I've got one more. But can you think of another highlight before we do halftime from year 2024? I can go if you're wanting just more time to think. One of my highlights was I have been engaged with the Media Education Lab since the summer of 2019, which was before COVID. Renee Hobbs and Yanti Friesen are the two professors that are leading the Media Education Lab. I went to Providence, Rhode Island in the summer to a week of professional development on site at the University of Rhode Island, which was just awesome. They were doing an in-person media, or what was it called? Summer Institute in Digital Literacy. And then COVID happened and it went online, and I was faculty online for that. It's just such a great tribe. And I am telling you, media literacy is literacy, and we need to be intentionally teaching media literacy, not only to students, but to adults. There are so many aspects of media literacy, the ways in which media influences us and in some cases manipulates us, and the ways we need to protect ourselves against identity theft. I think I'm going to do a in-person meetup and then a webinar this spring, probably about family cyber defense. I've talked about that a bunch in TEDx talks and other things. But anyway, I am now having the opportunity to lead the monthly meetups of the Media Education or Media Ed Club. I started that in October, and I'm just so excited to keep doing it. You can go to webinars.wesfryer.com. I have those linked as my wife shakes her head. Come on, honey, tell us your links. What's your link? When's the last time you blogged, Blue Sky user?
Oh my goodness, it's a crazy town. I think one of the highlights of this past year for me was over the summer, I got to spend a week with my sister in Dallas, and that was a really special time. My sister, Jana, is the one person that's known me the very longest. I no longer have my parents, and it's a really special relationship that I have that with our siblings. And so Jenna and I just got to do a lot of pampering, got to do a lot of relaxing. I really enjoyed hanging out with her friends. She's retired. She's a retired librarian. And anyway, she has a great group of friends, we both share getting healthy, staying active. She's a great motivator for me. She's in a great routine. Anyway, just enjoyed my time with Jana this summer. And also hanging out with her granddaughter, so my grandniece, so Carly Jean, which is really fun, the first grandbaby between the two of us and our families. Jenna just lights up when I talk to her on the phone, and I love getting stories about Carly, and it's been really special. Also, Sarah had surgery over the summer, and so I went there to take care of her post-surgery and whatever, but it was really nice to get to stay with she and Robbie and stay in their house, and they have such a cute little house, and they're doing so well. Robbie's gone back to school. Sarah's continuing to work. She's been she did take the LSAT, and now she's prepping to take it again. And, we're just so proud of her. She's doing good things, and she's on the right track, and she's thinking about her future, and she's doing things for herself that she wants to do. And anyway, it was really awesome to get to hang out with her and take care of her in her own space. She really loves Oklahoma City, and she loves that community. And so she has a great support system. And anyway, so that was really fun to just get to hang out with her and do that. So that was a big highlight for me.
One more great highlight for me is that I really feel like I am doing my best work as a teacher right now in middle school. I was able to shift for different reasons to teach 3 classes this year, and In the fall, I taught 2 sections of my media literacy class, which is called Computer Applications. Hopefully, we'll get the title finally changed. I got the description changed. But media literacy, and then also a section of web design and a section of computer coding. And I took that class for computer coding over last year was it in the spring?
Don't remember.
Yeah, I think I might have been. And I had 11 kids. And then last year I had 21 kids. And then this year, and I had 2 girls. Then next semester I had 4 girls. And then I think I was down to 2 again this year, but 20. But this next semester, instead of 2 sections of media literacy, 1 web design, 1 coding, I have 2 coding, 1 media literacy, and 1 web design. All of the classes I teach in middle school are electives. And so marketing to kids and families is really actually important. But I just absolutely love helping kids learn how to create animations, learn how to make games, learning how to have agency over the computer. Oh my gosh. When I was in 7th grade in like 1982 in Manhattan Middle School in Kansas, we got Commodore 64 computers and we were programming in BASIC. There was no graphical user interface. And it was like very simple, but still the power of being able to create something with code and then use your imagination to make something happen and create and then algorithmically create. Wow, that is powerful. And so I'm just very thankful to be in the situation where I am at our school, to have the trust of our department in our school, to have autonomy. It is really a privilege to have the opportunity to be able to really reinvent this class that used to be, keyboarding in Microsoft Office. This is what I did for several years at Cassidy School in Oklahoma City. After I stepped down as being the technology director for 4 years.
You don't have to use a funny voice with that. That is absolutely fine for you to do that.
Okay. There's just a lot unspoken. But it's good memories and good times. There's all kinds of experiences that we've had. We're so thankful to be where we are. And I'll say that as a praise God. Like, I am so thankful that both Shelly and I together are so happy to be here in North Carolina. It is hard. It has been difficult. It still is difficult. Unfortunately, we have to dip into our retirement savings to come here. Too much information. Okay. Anyway, I'm just saying it's been hard. But we're glad. We're glad to be here. Yeah. So why don't we go to halftime? And then we'll come back and let's talk a little bit about Thanksgiving and Christmas highlights and a little bit about goals for 2025.
Hey there, North Carolina. Are you ready to experience a funnel cake revolution? It's time to meet Friar's Funnel Cakes, where tradition meets taste and deliciousness is just a bite away.
Created by 2 passionate school teachers, Friar's Funnel Cakes isn't just about satisfying your sweet tooth. It's a story of family, dedication, and a sprinkle of teachers' love in every bite.
Imagine a warm, golden funnel cake dusted with the perfect amount of powdered sugar. And wait for it, you get to drizzle as much or as little chocolate syrup as your heart desires.
Got an event? Want to bring some joy to your gathering? Friar's Funnel Cakes is ready to hit the road and bring our sizzling sweet sensations to you.
Don't just take our word for it. Here's what one of our satisfied customers had to say.
Well, I thought I'd had a good funnel cake, but, when I had one of them Friar's Funnel Cakes, it just set a new standard in taste and excellence. It's a game changer for sure.
So, what are you waiting for, Matthews? Head over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/FriarsFunnelCakes and let's make your next event a deliciously memorable one.
Hey, we're back. And Shelly didn't want to introduce it, so I'm going to say we're going to do highlights from Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then we're going to do some goals for 2025. Oh,
No, we weren't. We were going to reflect on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
that's right. And then we're going to do goal.
Oh, okay. Sorry. This is what happens when I try to multitask. Multitask. Let's see. Goals for 2025.
Thanksgiving. What happened for Thanksgiving? Highlights. Tell about Thanksgiving. Should we start over? Let me start. Now let's just keep going. You gotta get the whole thing. This is what happens when you get old, everybody. You stop being able to remember stuff. It's all real. This is uncut. This is the uncut version. Okay, so honey, you need to stop looking at your phone.
Okay.
We're going to talk about Thanksgiving and Christmas. Let's do that first. So, what do you remember about Thanksgiving this year?
All right. Thanksgiving this year was really special because, like Wes said earlier, Grace and Alexander have been married a year now. But anyway, so they're in that rotation of, and this year they had Thanksgiving with us, and then they had Christmas with Grace's family. So Thanksgiving with us. So we had Alexander and Grace, Rachel, and Sarah flew in. So we had all three kids and then Grace. So, which all four of our kids, which I'm still working on that language. But anyway, it was so nice to have everybody here. And they helped me put up the Christmas tree, and we decorated the Christmas tree. And we had our Christmas pajamas. And anyway, it was Christmas serpent. Oh, Christmas pajamas. It's hard. I love them. But anyway, so that was really neat. And, Wes made turkey and he smoked it. And of course, we had food. Wes, I think, well, that's part of our goals for 2025. We had a lot of food for Thanksgiving. A lot of food for Thanksgiving. And so, anyway, one of our goals is to get back and be healthy for 2025, but we can get to that later. Yeah, so many squirrels. But anyway, we don't do a whole lot when everybody's here. It's just really about hanging out and watching movies and eating good food and put up the Christmas tree. And it felt like a real holiday to have everybody here together. And so I just really enjoyed it. It was nice. What about you? What are your memories? And then of Thanksgiving, and I guess you can start us off on Christmas.
Well, we're just at the season of life. This is part of the empty nest where we are thankful for any opportunity that we have to be with our children and to be with our extended family. It is just so wonderful to have Grace in our family. I love getting texts. She'll send me recipes sometimes that she's made, or just like a picture of them. They had fondue for Christmas, and sometimes their cat is named Max. And so anyway, it's absolutely lovely. And of course, what makes a parent so joyful about their child's spouse, there's a whole lot of things, but one of them is just the joy that it brings to their child. And Alex is just so completed by Grace. And yes, and they love games. Ooh, yes, and we played different games. Alex brought several games. In fact, one of them was a card game. There were a couple that we played. And ironically enough, but this is thanks really to Alexander, a lot thanks to him. I am the co-sponsor of the gaming club at our school, which is weird because I'm not a gamer. Like, I don't really just love games, but Alex is the one who got me to play Minecraft originally. And well, actually, there's a wonderful Chicago-based educator that I met at a conference that had encouraged me to play, Minecraft with Alex. But games are so great. We are at a school that is wonderful in many, many ways. But private schools like ours, which are college prep experiences, tend to be very stressful. They tend to have a lot of high expectations for kids, and kids are very, very busy it is lovely to be able to just sit back and play some chess or Uno or Pente or Catan. The game Axis and Allies. I've got a student who's in 6th grade who really loves this Axis and Allies game, which can take several days to play. And so anyway, there's just here really right before Thanksgiving, and then over the December and right after Christmas, I provided some opportunities for them to come in and play, and it's great. And I'm appreciative for Alex. I think connecting via games has been and continues to be a really important way that we connect and we spend time together. And so I'm very thankful for that. I actually wish that we had played games more over Christmas, but my dad's vision is, really limited. And so I think that was one of the reasons we didn't do a lot of gameplay, but it's just good. It's good. It's good to play
We
games.
did games.
So we did. You want to talk a little bit about that?
So, we love to play games with our neighbors, Julian and Susie Venable. And one of the games they introduced us to was Rummikub. And so Santa Claus brought Rummikub. And then we also have Mexican Train. So we have 2 new games. So we're looking forward to playing those. Those were Christmas games. Something I really enjoyed about Christmas was just in the whole holiday. Tom and Rachel got here early, about a week. We were still in school, but they had a lot of special time together, and we're able to relax and sleep in and just be very low key. And so that was really nice. We had them for about 3 weeks. And then Sarah flew in for actual Christmas and Christmas Eve. And so that was wonderful. But I felt like it was a true extended, it wasn't rushed. We were able to just enjoy being together. We got to do a lot of neat things. The highlight for sure was Biltmore at Christmas, which has always been a dream of mine, but Wildcat really wanted to do that as well. And so that was kind of his Christmas gift to us, is that we got to drive to Asheville. And that night we got an evening tour, which they're only open in the evenings during the Christmas holidays. And the whole house is decorated beautifully, and the lights, the candle lights, and they have guest choirs and this beautiful poinsettias that they grow there. And so we got an evening tour, and then the next day we stayed in a cool hotel. It's called the Flatiron Hotel in downtown Asheville. It was an old historic redone hotel, but a boutique hotel, which was so fun. And then we spent the night there, and then the next day we had a date pass, and so we were able to go to and do a wine tour and back at the Biltmore, do a wine tour, and then tour the grounds and go to all the different places. And so anyway, it was magical. It was wonderful. It was just a big highlight for me.
On the 23rd, we got to go have a lovely, lovely dinner at the Melting Pot. And one of the things, of course, that's on all of our minds is the passing of my mother. My mother passed away on Christmas Eve 2 years ago. And thankfully, both my sister Trudy and I were able to be there with Dad and to be there with Mom. And, that is still a very fresh memory. And last year we were all with my sister Trudy and her husband Max and their family in the Kansas City area in Liberty. And that was wonderful. But, this year they were going down to San Antonio to be with family. And it worked out. It worked out for Dad to come here and to be together, and I think Dad was very appreciative of so much. Dad is 84 and he is doing so well. But I will say this, that, caring for your aging parent, helping your aging parent bathe, taking care of so many things, like it was really good. It was very, very impactful, I think, in a way that just made me reflect. I mean, this is part of the emptiness too, right? You realize life is fast, man. It does not last that long, really. And I mean, we're sitting here going, yep, I guess we got about 20 more years, you know? But that's not bad. It's not a bad thing. It gives us a why. We want to be healthy. We want to be strong. We want to be in a financial and professional place that we are deployable for our children so that whenever, just like Shelly was able to be with Sarah last summer when she had this big surgery. And actually, Sarah had two surgeries. She had to have her wisdom teeth out, and she had to have this, major, it's called a staghorn, but anyway, it was a kidney stone related surgery. It was a big deal. And so how wonderful for Shelly to be able to be with her at that time. And I'm hoping, actually, we're going to talk about goals. I want to go back to Oklahoma and not only be with Sarah and Robbie and hang out with them. I want to hang out with my friend Lauren and and even this summer we're talking about, I think in early June, we're going to have a break, I think, between our camps. And then just hang out with Dad. It was really good. And hopefully we're talking about Trudy and Max and their family being able to hopefully visit us maybe in May. Family is so important. We moved 1,000 miles across the country, and that was hard, for a lot of different reasons. But it is wonderful to have technology. Shelly talks about this, when she was in Germany, she only got to talk to her parents on the weekend, and it was just for an hour, and it was expensive to do that. So I love how she's able to, visit mainly with Sarah frequently, but we've talked with Rachel a whole lot. And I'm digressing a little bit. So anyway, yes, Biltmore was a big highlight. Melting Pot, being able to celebrate that. We did that on the 23rd. We couldn't get in on the 24th, but it was an absolutely wonderful dinner, and it was remembering my mother. We went to Biltmore on the 29th, which was Mother's birthday, and it was just really, really good. And I loved going to church with our family. I was actually King Herod one Sunday in the children's pageant, which was quite fun. I had not had a role in any kind of theatrical production in a long time, and it was fun to do. I had to be like grumpy and upset through joy, as everyone else sang "Joy to the World." That was hard. But we are in a wonderful, wonderful church, Caldwell Presbyterian. Oh, and that was, I guess I didn't say this, but it was a highlight of my year too, was being the co-chair of our stewardship committee. And it was really just so wonderful to build relationship with the members of our committee. And we worked pretty hard for about, 3 months, meeting weekly, mostly in person, some online, and then close with our lead pastor, John. Just really thankful to be a part of that community. So, Shelly, any other highlights of 2025, or sorry, highlights of 2024, or do you want to move on to goals?
Goals, please.
Okay, goals, go.
Oh, I have to go?
Yeah, you have to get off your phone.
Oh, I was just getting ready to send you something.
Goals for 2025. Wes and I are going to get back on the health journey. We have very much enjoyed our Thanksgiving and Christmas. And, we've just been sliding along. And so I'm going to know that we noticed that we don't feel as good as we used to feel. And
Food and weight.
yeah, food and weight for sure. And with adding in weight training. So just like everybody in January, we're going to jump on the health wagon. But we have done this before, and we know what to do, and we know that it's good for us. So we do want to stay healthy, and we do want to live active lives and focus on having many adventures. And so definitely we're going to make that a priority in 2025. Also, we're going to continue with our space education. We've talked a little bit about that. But Wes and I this summer with our friend Travis White, who Wes has talked about, are going to be doing some camps for PD, our school. And so we're really looking forward to that. I am looking forward to planning those activities and bringing space to more students, which I think is very powerful. It's a very powerful message. And so, like Wes said, I think we're going to be taking a class together with our friend Mark Wagner. I would also, one of my goals, something I really want to do, is he has a trip to New Mexico, and it's a space-related trip. Yeah, it's space geology, and they look at the lunar and the Mars surface. And so that's something I would really like to do. I would also like to go back to the SEEK conference. So I'm going to be looking for some type of nonprofit or some type of organization or some type of scholarship that can help me get to that, hopefully next year. But we'll do it online this year, and that will be great. So those are some of the things that I am looking forward to in 2025. Also, I've been talking to my sister Jana, so I went to see her in Dallas last year, and so hoping that she'll be able to come and see me in Charlotte this year. So we're kind of trying to start to plan that as well.
So last year, I started a video series that I called Wisdom with Wes. And it's like, I think I have 42 episodes. And I did one here a day or so ago called Advice for 2025. And this was really for myself, but, maybe other people can learn from it too or think about it too. And it's media diet, building community, and what's the last thing? This is what happens when you have some old fashions as you're, doing your recording.
And you
Something else. There's something else in there. Media diet, we, unfortunately, I think we are in for a really, really challenging year in terms of politics and our political culture in the United States. There's a lot of polarization and, we're having a change of administration. I think it's going to be really, really tough. I actually set up a Patreon over the holiday, which I call Dangerous Ideas with Wes Fryer. Representative democracy, human rights, religious tolerance, and media literacy. Those shouldn't be controversial things, but anyway, it's patreon.com/Wes Fryer. It's a place to be able to share things that I'm just not comfortable at this point publicly sharing. It's not that I don't want to be, held accountable and don't stand by what I share, but I've had a private Facebook group for a couple years now for the Conspiracies and Culture Wars Media Literacy Inquiry Project that I have led. And so anyway, it's just a place to be able to share things about, some politics and things that are related to values, that are related to human rights. I mean, we are very, very strong advocates for human rights for everyone. And so anyway, I think that the diet that we have, not only physically, but also with media, is important. Shelley's actually rethinking Facebook right now. And, I'm going to continue to look at my screen time, how I'm allocating that time, and hopefully I want to do more reading. It's actually a goal of mine. I've been doing some more reading. I'm going to do more reading. I'm going to do more writing. But media diet is important. Building community, with our neighbors right here next to, where, we literally our next door neighbors and others across the street. Building community at school. I've got a group. We call it the First Friday Payday Happy Hour group or something like that. But basically, we've gone out a couple months, and I want to keep it going, and just so they all happen to be guys, but, people that I really connect with and that I'm friends with. They're in different, some of them are in our department, some of them are in different departments, but whatever. They're just, people I like to hang out with and friends, man. It's big. It's a big deal. It is a big, big deal to have friends, and it takes investing time and our church is so important to us, and the community that we're building there is really, really important. And then there's a third goal you'll think of as well, but I'll think of that in a minute. Do you have any goals that you have in terms of school? You've talked about space education. What other goals do you have beyond health and space education?
I don't know if it's not a school goal, but I've kind of started a girls hiking group. And so we try to get together about once a month and explore some trails. And so we'll go on a different trail, I guess, next Saturday. But I think just continuing to build our groups, and like Wes was talking about, our communities. And I've tried several activities and several things, and nothing's really sticking yet. But this is a girls hiking. Of course, I love to hike and I love adventures, and got to know these ladies at our women's retreat at Montreat. hopefully I'll be looking forward to that. I have a really dear friend, Carol, who I am developing, just a relationship with. She's in her 80s, and um, we had lunch today, and we just enjoy getting together. So I think that is one of my goals for this year, is just to continue finding um, women who I can get together with and build friendship with and have community with. Um, so anyway, that's just something I'm going to work on, and something I'm enjoy. You talked about there is a local North Carolina author, and I'm in a book club right now. It is a first astronaut series, but the first book is called Calculating the Stars, and so I'm in a book club with that now. It's a virtual book club, and so I'm pretty excited about that. Um, so anyway, a lot to look forward to. I think we're finally just settling in, and that feels good.
So the third thing from that advice video I did was health and wellness, and we've already talked quite a bit about that. So
Oh.
I know. Well, I'm old, so I gotta say stuff while I can. Um, and I'm also just continuing to, I think, grow as a media literacy educator and as an educator and a teacher. And so I've already mentioned the Media Education Lab and those webinars, but I'm looking forward. January 9th and 10th, they're having the Media Ed Forum, which is a annual conference. It used to be like the Northeast Conference on Media Literacy, but now it.
The girls want to hear all about that.
Oh, yeah, probably not. Okay. So the girls don't want to hear this. Okay. Well, maybe we should wrap it up. So we are thankful for so much in 2024. We are looking forward to continuing to work on many things personally, together and professionally, but we're really happy. We're thankful. We're building community. But I think most of all, we're proud of our children, and we are so thankful to be their parents and to be in their lives and to have opportunities to, just be able to live life together. And that's what this holiday was about. And that's what life is, man. It's living life together and being connected and being able to check in with each other and praying for each other and supporting each other. I think that's it. So what are your closing thoughts?
No, I echo all of those things. We are extremely proud of all of our children. And particularly just they're doing good adulting. They're making good choices, and they're taking care of each other. I think they're building close bonds with each other. I know they'll always be there for each other. So it makes a parent feel good when you can see your children begin to adult and adult well. And so they're making good decisions, and we will continue to make good decisions and hopefully set a good example for how to love and take care of each other. So that's important. So thank you for listening to this long podcast of just random thoughts and ideas. But we appreciate all of you and look forward to seeing you again. And good luck into your new school year and to your new work year. And just continue growing and having adventures.
And that's our closing mantra, is to stay curious, go outside, and keep exploring.
Oxnell.
Wes and Shelley Share is a weekly podcast recorded and published on Sundays by Wesley and Shelley Fryer of Matthews, North Carolina. Learn more and find links to connect on social media to Wes and Shelley by visiting shelleyfryer.com/podcast. Content on this podcast is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Only 3.0 license. The Wes and Shelley Share podcast is recorded and published with Anchor and distributed on all major podcast channels, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, and more. Please share our show on social media and tell others about us. Let us know on Facebook or via other means what you like about the show, that you're listening, and if you have any suggestions for future episodes. Stay curious, go outside, and keep exploring.